Hey guys! Alright, so today what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at how to solve equations when you have adding or subtracting in it. So we talked about before about what inverse means. So remember our goal is, first of all, I'm going to write this equation down, and that equal sign is always going to stay in the middle. So we're going to say x minus 5 equals negative 1. My goal is to get that x by itself. Now if I look here, is x alone, which means on this side, here's my equal sign, on this side of the equal sign is x alone. And we say no, there's a 5. What's 5 and x doing? They're subtracting. So I'm going to say to get rid of a subtract 5, I'm going to do the inverse and say plus 5. So a minus 5 plus 5 would cancel each other out. And that's our goal. That's how I get x alone. But an equation is like a balance. All right, if whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side also. So I'm going to put plus 5 over here. Negative 5 and plus 5 cancel out. I'm left with just x. My equal sign always stays in the middle. And I just got to say, what's negative 1 plus 5? I can do tick marks. Negative 1, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These cancel out, and I'm left with just 4. Okay, so always constantly, here's my x, what's with my x, what's the opposite? All right, so take about a minute or two, and see if you can get this. All right, so see if you can try that one on your own for about a minute or two. Don't pause the video. I'll just put a minute on, and you can try it from there. All right, so let's look at it. All right, so we're going to write it first. We're going to say x plus 7 equals negative 8. Really try at the beginning not to try to find out the answer. Just do the algebra. So here's x. How do I get x by itself? Plus 7 is on the same side. So what's the inverse of plus 7? That'd be subtract 7. Both sides. These cancel out. Plus 7 and negative 7 are 0. My x comes down. Equals always in the middle. Negative 8 minus 7. So negative 8 minus 7. That's the same thing as negative 8 plus negative 7. If I owe someone $8 and I owe someone $7, I'm going to owe them 15. And that's my answer. Now, the biggest problem students have is they start looking at this going, oh, fractions, how in the world? Don't worry about it. And I know that's so easy for a teacher to say, oh, they're just fractions, don't worry about it. But really what happens here is you want to make sure that you look at the algebra behind this, and then we'll deal with the pre-algebra before that. And I'll see what I mean in a second. So when I rewrite it, there's a negative out in front. Remember, just to kind of get used to it, let's always bring that negative to the top. All right, so I'm going to say negative 2 over 7. So here's the algebra. Here's the new part that's hard. Is x by itself? Yes or no? Now, I have a plus 3/5, so what's the inverse of plus 3/5? And that's minus 3/5. And I'm going to put minus 3/5 on both sides. So these cancel out, and I'm left with x equals whatever this is. All right, but this step right here, that's algebra. That's the new part. So if you go, I just don't get this stuff at all. Are you talking about the algebra of how do I get rid of these signs? Or is it the old stuff, the pre-algebra, like, oh, Mr. Hyde, I always forget how to do negative 2/7 minus 3/5 or plus negative. All right, so remember, common denominator. So this ends up being times 5 times 5 times 7 times 7, negative 10 over 35 plus negative 21 over 35. Common denominator 35. Negative 10 plus negative 21 is negative 31, and that's my answer. And you go, whoa, slow down, slow down. And the reason I'm not slowing down is because, again, this is all old. So if you need help with that, please ask. All right, talk to me. Let's get some extra help after school during Power Block. Let's figure it out. But don't think that we're going to keep every time slow down, slow down, slow down. At some point, we're going to have to see with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video here. So the video will be over after this. I want you to try this example on your own and then check with your group and then get ready to switch. If you're watching at home, just try it and we can get the answer later on. All right, so try the best you can on this one and then we'll talk about it later. All right, again, if you need help, talk to me, talk to one of the tutors, talk to somebody else in the room. Let's figure this out. But really, don't leave this blank unless you have to switch for now. But try it. All right, good luck.